everybody was worried about Epstein, you understand? Y'all should have been worried about the Pope.
Yeah.
You understand? The Catholic Church ran the largest child molestation ring on planet Earth.
That's right.
Oh, but you think they so pious? You understand? You think them nuns is so sweet? Them nuns beat children. You understand?
Right.
Them priests and them nuns are all sexually frustrated because they took an oath thinking that you can't be a priest and have a wife, that now they molested all the boys around the world. Oh, but you thought the problem was Jeffrey Epstein. I know. When's the last time you seen Jeffrey Epstein in your neighborhood? Never? But when's the last time you seen a Catholic Church? You understand? The Catholic Church been around since 1492 in America. That's how long the Catholic Church been around. You understand? Collecting all the tithes, collecting all the money, and touching all the boys. All the little boys, the altar boys, the choir, all of the above. You understand? And listen, we know that, you understand, Diddy's a sexual deviant. I know that. You understand? We know R. Kelly's a sexual deviant. But how come we ain't hear about surviving Pope Francis?
Right.
Why we ain't see that documentary? You understand? Why we ain't seen surviving Harvey Weinstein? Harvey Weinstein is a monster. That's an animal. Pope Benedict is an animal. Why we ain't see these things? You understand? Because all they want to do is vilify blacks and Latinos. You understand? They want to make Haitians and they want to make Mexicans the number one illegal immigrants and put us inside cages. But you know who the number one illegal immigrant is? Asians.
Right.
You ain't know that. You understand? It's all the East Indians. It's all those East Indians, Chinese, all of them, they be illegal. You understand? I ain't never seen the Dunkin' Donuts get raided. You understand? I don't see the gas stations getting raided. I don't see how BB getting put in them little cages with ICE, but they want to take the blacks and Hispanics and they want to put us in cages. You understand? They want to turn around and try to oppress us. They want to turn around and vilify us when we're the most compassionate people on the face of the earth, man. That's what we need to know. Donald Trump is the devil, man.
That's right.
That new Pope, past, president, future is the devil, man.
Right.
You understand? So don't downplay Harvey Weinstein and not downplay the Catholic Church.
Right.
They've been molesting children forever. And then you know what they do? They treat them like the police departments. You know what I'm saying? Peace, brother. They treat them like the police departments. Police department kills a black or Hispanic, and then you know what they do? They find a job in another police department. Well, you know what happens? A Catholic priest molests a boy, and they just move him to another country to molest more boys. He molested boys in Colombia, they move him to Argentina. He molests boys in Argentina, they just move him further north. That's it. They just slide them, shuffle them around. You understand? Talking about sex trafficking. They got Diddy and a Frico right now. You understand? Where's the Rico for the Catholic Church? You understand? That's who I want to press charges on. I want to press charges on Francis, Benedict, the first, second, and third. You understand? The bishops, the deacons, Father O'Hennessy, all of them. The cardinals, whatever. Insert any rank you want into that infrastructure. You understand? What Denzel say? I'm putting cases on all you bees. 23-hour lockdown. Shoe program. You know, you could be whatever you want in jail. You know what you can't be? A pedophile. You could be a thief. You could create aggravated assault, grand larceny, murder, and you could have a thriving life inside prison. Not thriving, but you get what I'm saying as far as for that paradigm. But you be a rapist, you be a pedophile, they gonna stab you up more than Tory Lanez. You understand? And not to not be compassionate, but maybe now you'll understand how heinous that is. Even criminals don't like pedophiles. Even criminals don't like rapists. You get stabbed 23 times in prison, 40 times in prison. You understand? You walk straight to your cell. Straight like that. You understand? Where we at? Which scripture we at? Read it.
Matthew chapter 3, verse 10. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Therefore, every tree which bringeth forth good fruit is hewn down.
You understand? And that's what they want to do. Like when you read this scripture, man, ain't no good tree can produce evil fruit.
Right.
You understand? So what type of tree could the Catholic Church be with all the child molesters?
Right.
You know, it's not like it was one. It's not like it was two. How much money was paid out in settlements? $3 billion. And let me tell you something, that's light work for the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is its own, like the Vatican is its own country. The Vatican is about the size of this building right here. And it's its own country. And you know what? The Vatican got its own bank. Now, I want you to think about this, right? Think about how many Catholic organizations there are in America alone. The schools, the land, the property that they own, right? Think about all the tuition money, all the tithe money, all the donations. And you know what? It's all tax-free. You understand? Because they're a religious organization. It is tax-free. They pay no taxes on that. And guess where all that money goes? To the American government? No! Goes right back to the Vatican. You know how much wealth that they have accumulated? You know how much money comes in there? Like $3 billion for them is nothing. Is absolutely nothing. You understand? But you know what they want to do? They want to uproot the good trees. You understand? That's why even Satan, you understand, changed himself into an angel of light. You see a Catholic priest, you think that's a man of God. That's a pedophile.
Right.
The Catholic Church is the house of Satan.
Right.
The Christian Church is the house of Satan. You understand? We don't need religion. You know what we need? We need truth. Christ didn't say religion will set you free. Christ didn't say Christianity will set you free. You know what Christ said? Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. You understand? And what we speaking out here is the truth. We don't need religion, we need brotherhood.
That's right.
We need more blacks and Latinos to feed more blacks and Latinos.
That's right.
That's what we need. We need to have each other's back. We need to look out for one another. We need to love one another, because who else is going to love us?
That's right.
The Asians don't love us.
Right.
Asians will set up a business in every one of our neighborhoods. Yo, be 20 cents short on your food. You ain't getting your food. You understand? The Asians look at us like, hurry up and buy. They don't give a damn about us. None of these other nations do. Same thing with the Arabs. You think the Arabs love you? They're selling our children Lucy's. They're selling babies alcohol. Half these bodegas is pushing heroin out of them. You like, where's the H coming out? You see them brothers leaning on the street. It's coming from Habibi. Habibi the plug. Habibi got the best H in Harlem right now. Y'all ain't know that? We gonna act like we don't know this? We gonna act like they ain't choke Eric Garner out for selling Lucy's, but Habibi be selling 11-year-olds Lucy's out the deli? That's what we gonna do. Because ye shall know them by their fruits. You understand? And the fruit that's been produced by these religions is rotten, is sour. And you know, they say it just take one apple to spoil the bunch. You understand? You take a rotten apple, you put it in a bin with fresh apples, come back a couple of hours later, you're going to start to see that disease spreading. You got to cut out the rot. You got to cut out, you got to uproot it. You got to eliminate it. And then we got to start over from scratch. And you know what that foundation is? The ISUPK.
That's right.
That's what it is. You know the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You understand? The church had their shot. You failed.
Right.
You understand? Everybody reads the Bible. You know about the 144,000, right? How many billions of Christians are there on the earth? You ain't got 144 yet? What you doing?
Right.
What is you doing? You ain't done it yet? Because clearly that philosophy has failed us. We've been spoiled with vain philosophy. We've been spoiled with singing and dancing and flowers and tambourines and organ solos. You understand? That's what we've been spoiled with. Meanwhile, when you read the Bible, you know what church was in the Bible? It was a school. That's what the synagogues were. We go to church to be entertained. You're supposed to go to church to be educated. You understand? And you know what we're supposed to be educated on? Loving each other first.
Right.
Taking care of each other.
Right.
You understand? We are all family and we better start acting like it. I'm going to give it back to the brothers.
That's right.
And we calling on everybody.
That's right.
Every Thursday night, we got a radio show called Cross the Line Radio. You can call in and talk about anything you want. We can talk about the virgin birth, immaculate conception, is Jesus God, who we should pray for, is salvation for everyone, can everyone be saved? Listen, all you got to do is call us up Thursday night, 10 p.m. The number is 917-779-9499. Cross the line if you think you got what it takes.